Welcome to AudioCert, where the official study guides are brought to life. Today, we're embarking on a genuinely fascinating deep dive. It's one that's absolutely essential for any project professional looking to truly master their craft and, frankly, stay ahead in our rapidly changing world. We're talking about the Project Management Professional, or PMP, certification. Now, for those of you who've been in the trenches, leading initiatives and delivering results, you already know the PMP isn't just another credential.
Oh, definitely not.
It's a globally recognized benchmark, almost a gold standard, you could say, for project managers worldwide. At its heart, the PMP isn't just about showing you can manage a project. It's really about proving you have the strategic chops to lead and direct them effectively.
hmm
And pulling from a whole toolkit of approaches, whether you're working with agile, waterfall, or, some kind of hybrid, it's really about elevating you from just being a good manager to being a great one. Someone who truly gets things done and done right.
Right. It's about that effectiveness.
It shows you can anticipate and mitigate those curveballs that can derail even the best laid plans, navigating complexity with confidence. This certification is a critical step for career advancement, yes, but more profoundly, it's a powerful demonstration of a deep, comprehensive understanding of project management principles, from initiation all the way to closure and, importantly, beyond.
And that's exactly the point. And we connect this to the bigger picture. The PMP isn't just about accumulating theoretical knowledge. It's fundamentally about the practical application of those principles in, real-world scenarios.
Right, putting it into practice.
Exactly. It's about translating that robust understanding into tangible value delivery, making a difference on the ground consistently and reliably. It's the difference maybe between knowing the recipe and being a master chef who can, improvise when an ingredient is missing, or subtly enhance a dish to elevate it from good to unforgettable.
Absolutely. I like that analogy. Now, for our specific deep dive today, we're heading into a section of the PMP study guide that, quite frankly, is often overlooked, but is becoming incredibly central to how we think about value delivery. Appendix X4 product. When I first saw Appendix X4 product in the PMP guide, I admit my eyebrows went up a bit.
Hey, I can imagine.
Products. I thought, isn't this all about projects? But then I started unpacking it, and what's reviewed here is a really significant, almost a tectonic shift in how we approach value. It's a mind bender in the best possible way. Understanding product is increasingly vital in modern business landscapes, where the lines between projects and ongoing operations are blurring faster than ever. Okay, let's unpack this. This appendix highlights a truly significant shift in thinking within project management. It moves us beyond just delivering a project's outputs. The tangible things you produce, like a new piece of software or a completed building.
But what you deliver.
Exactly. To focusing on the sustained outcomes and the long-term value a product provides over its entire lifetime. It's a subtle but profoundly powerful change in perspective, one that demands a new way of thinking for all of us in project leadership.
What's fascinating here is how traditional project thinking is rapidly evolving to meet market demands. It has to, right?
Yeah, it seems so.
This appendix helps us understand the broader context of value delivery, especially for those looking to apply project management in dynamic, product-driven environments. It acknowledges that many of the things we manage as projects are actually components of larger, continuously evolving products.
Ah, okay. So the project feeds the product.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that the finish line of a project is often just a milestone in a product's much longer journey. And that impacts how we define success and, crucially, how we allocate resources. So our mission today is to demystify product management within the PMP context. We'll explore its core concepts, delve into the global market shifts that are driving its increasing importance, and examine how organizations are adapting their project delivery practices to thrive in this new landscape. We want you to walk away with a richer understanding of how product thinking complements and enhances project management, giving you a distinct advantage in your career.
All right, let's jump right into the heart of it then. We're starting with section X4.1, the evolving landscape, from projects to products, which really sets the stage for this paradigm shift. Over the last decade, maybe even longer, there's been this gradual but profound transition in how we view project management. Historically, the focus was laser sharp on delivering a project's tangible outputs, that new building, that piece of software, that report.
Get it built, get it shipped.
Pretty much. Once the output was delivered, the project was often considered done, dusted, and the team disbanded. But that thinking is, it's increasingly becoming a relic of the past, isn't it?
It really is. If we connect this to the bigger picture, we're witnessing a crucial evolution. especially with the rise of digital products and services. The emphasis is shifting towards measuring value and, more importantly, the outcomes of a project, not just the outputs.
Okay.
Product management aligns perfectly with this value-centric view. And critically, as a much longer time frame perspective, it's not just what did we build, but what value does it continue to generate for whom and for how long? This fundamentally changes how we define success, moving beyond a simple checklist to, sustained impact.
That's a great distinction, and it's worth clarifying for our listeners because it's so fundamental. When we talk about outputs, we mean the direct deliverables like a new software system, a redesigned website, or even a batch of manufactured goods. These are the things the project produces.
Tangible results.
Exactly. Finite, tangible results of specific project activities. But outcomes are the result or benefits achieved because of those outputs. So for that new software system, an output might be the deployed code running on a server.
Right.
But an outcome could be increased customer satisfaction because the new system is easier to use, or improved operational efficiency because it automates a manual process, or even a new revenue stream because it enables a new service.
So it's the so what factor.
Exactly. It's about the why behind the what, and crucially, the sustained impact over time. Now, to fully grasp this shift, let's nail down some key definitions for product understanding. First, a product is defined quite simply as item in itself, or a component item. Now, you might be thinking, isn't a product just a product? And yes, at its simplest, it's an item or component. But for us, for PMP professionals, the critical distinction is understanding a product not just as a one-time deliverable, but as an entity with its own life cycle, continuous evolution, and sustained value generation, often beyond the scope of any single project.
It has a life of its own, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. It could be a physical good, a digital service, a piece of software, or even a capability within a larger system. The key is its enduring nature and its mission to deliver value to a customer. This is where it gets really interesting. Product management. It's defined as the integration of people, data, processes, and business systems to create, maintain, and evolve a product or service throughout its entire life cycle.
Wow, that's broad.
It is. It's a holistic, continuous approach, far beyond just the initial build or a single project scope. Think of it like being the head gardener, not just the landscaper who installs the initial garden. The landscaper completes the project of installation.
Okay.
The gardener, the product manager, then continuously nurtures, prunes, fertilizes, and adapts the garden to ensure it thrives and continues to bring beauty and value over many seasons. It's not a one-off task. It's a living, breathing commitment.
That integration aspect is absolutely key. And it's where many organizations, well, they struggle sometimes. It highlights how product management isn't a siloed activity, but a connective tissue that brings together diverse elements. Consider the people aspect. It's not just developers, but also UX designers, market researchers, sales teams, customer support, all working in concert.
Right, the whole ecosystem.
Exactly. Then there's data. Everything from market research and competitive analysis to customer usage analytics and direct feedback, all informing decisions. Processes might include agile methodologies, lean principles, or continuous delivery pipelines that facilitate rapid iteration. And finally, business systems like CRM tools, ERP systems, CI/CD pipelines. These support the product's journey. A failure to integrate any one of these can tank a product, while seamless integration creates unexpected synergies and enduring market success.
Precisely. And that brings us neatly to the product lifecycle. A product lifecycle is defined as a series of phases that represents the evolution of a product. It starts from its initial concept and delivery, then moves through growth and maturity, and eventually, sadly, to its retirement.
The circle of life for products.
Kind of, yeah. It's a journey, not a destination, and each phase has its own strategic considerations. For example, during the concept phase, it's all about identifying market needs and defining the product vision. Delivery is that initial launch. Growth sees rapid adoption and expansion. Maturity usually means stable market share, but also increased competition. And finally, retirement is when the product is phased out. To give you a concrete, relatable example, think about the Apple iPhone. Its first release was definitely a project, a massive one.
Oh, yeah.
But the iPhone itself is a product that has been through multiple versions, iPhone 3, 4, 5, all the way to the latest models, with future updates always on someone's drawing board.
Constantly iterating.
Exactly. That's a classic product life cycle in action, continuous development, constant evolution, driven by customer needs, tech advancements, market competition. It's never truly finished in the traditional project sense. It's continuously refined and relaunched.
And this concept of continuous development has significant implications, particularly for things like funding and resource allocation. It's not a one-and-done project where you get a lump sum up front and then you're finished.
No, not at all.
It's about sustained investment, much like nurturing that garden we talked about, rather than just planting a single tree. It requires a fundamentally different financial and strategic mindset. Instead of a single large budget approval, you're often looking at incremental funding, continuous ROI assessments, and ongoing strategic alignment to ensure the product remains viable and valuable throughout its entire life.
That makes sense.
This shifts the focus from short-term project completion to long-term value generation.
That's a perfect segue into comparing the traditional project view with this modern product view. The study guide provides a fantastic framework in Table X41, which really clarifies the distinctions. So what does this all mean when we look at the differences between a traditional project view and a modern product view? Let's break down some of the key attributes, because this table really distills the core shift we're discussing. Let's start with the focus. Both project and product management ultimately aim for outcomes, right?
Ultimately, yes.
But the lens through which those outcomes are viewed changes dramatically. In a project view, the focus is typically on project outcomes. Did the project achieve its specific, defined objectives? Did it deliver the scope, on time, within budget? It's about the successful completion of a temporary endeavor.
Whereas with a product view, the focus expands significantly. It broadens to customer and business outcomes over the product's entire lifetime. It's not just about launching the product. It's about its sustained value to the end user, its market viability, and its contribution to the business's strategic goals years down the line.
Much bigger picture.
Much better. It's a broader, more enduring perspective on value creation, where the project is just one component of a much larger mission.
Okay, next, consider typical metrics. For a project, we often look at standard success metrics: staying within budget, adhering to the schedule, delivering the defined scope, meeting quality standards.
The classic triple constraint plus quality and satisfaction.
Right. These are concrete and measurable for a finite effort, allowing us to assess performance against a baseline.
But for product, the metrics shift to value and business value, which are much broader concepts. This could encompass things like market share, customer retention rates, revenue growth, customer lifetime value.
Or strategic stuff.
Exactly. Or even intangible benefits like brand loyalty and user engagement. It's about the ongoing health, impact, and profitability of the product in the market, not just its initial delivery stats. It's a continuous performance assessment against strategic objectives.
Then there's the staffing model. Traditional projects often use temporary teams. The team is assembled for the duration of the project, delivers the output, and then disbands, with members moving to other projects.
Project-based assignments.
Yeah. It's an efficient model for discrete, short-term efforts, I suppose.
But in contrast, the product view thrives on stable teams. These are teams that maintain continuity, staying with the product through its various phases: development, sustainment, evolution.
Ah, so the same people stick around.
Ideally, yes. This fosters deep institutional knowledge, a strong sense of ownership, and invaluable customer empathy, which is incredibly valuable over the long term. It minimizes those knowledge transfer overheads and allows for continuous learning and improvement within the team.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Finally, let's look at delivery emphasis. For a project, the emphasis is on deliver value accountability, primarily focused on the initial delivery of the project's outputs and achieving its immediate objectives. The accountability often concludes when the project closes out.
The handover happens, and the project team moves on.
Pretty much.
But for a product, the accountability extends from inception to retirement. This is a much longer-term commitment, encompassing continuous improvement, support, and evolution until the product eventually reaches the end of its useful life. It's a cradle-to-grave responsibility, ensuring that value is continuously delivered and enhanced throughout the product's existence. And this raises an important question, doesn't it? How exactly can organizations adapt their traditional project-centric thinking to fully embrace this longer, value-driven product view, especially given all the momentum of past practices?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's precisely what we're going to explore next as we look at the external forces driving this change. Let's move to section X4.2, Global Market Shifts Driving Product Management. Here's where it's really interesting, because these aren't just academic ideas, they're happening all around us, disrupting traditional business models and profoundly transforming how we develop and deliver products and services. The study guide highlights 3 major trends pushing product management forward. The first, and arguably most impactful, is customer centricity. This concept fundamentally inverts the traditional model.
Turns it on its head.
Yeah. Instead of organizations simply developing products and then pushing them out to customers, today it's about the organization revolving around the customer. The customer isn't just a buyer. They become the gravitational center of all design, development, and delivery activities.
The sun and the solar system, not just another planet.
Exactly. Think of it as the customer becoming the North Star for all decision-making.
And this shift is largely enabled by modern technology, which can capture a vast range of customer data and requirements with unprecedented detail and speed. It's incredible what we can learn now. Organizations can then analyze this rich data, from usage patterns to direct feedback, social media sentiment, support tickets to inform potential product enhancements, identify cross-selling opportunities, and even spark entirely new product ideas.
So it's data-driven evolution.
Absolutely. It's an iterative loop of listening, learning, and responding to customer needs and desires, rather than just, guessing. This transforms product development from a speculative endeavor into a responsive, data-driven cycle.
And if you look at Figure X42 in the source material, the changing relationship between an organization and its customers, you see this visually. It's a powerful illustration of the shift. It goes from that linear organization serving products out to customer model to an organization revolving around the customer model.
It's a fundamental change in perspective.
It really is. This isn't just a marketing slogan. It impacts every aspect of design and delivery, forcing a fundamental rethink of internal processes and priorities. In this customer-centric model, there are several key components that become absolutely vital metrics. We're talking about customer experience, or CX. That's every interaction a customer has with your product or service, from browsing to purchasing to support.
Every touch point matters.
Right. Then there's customer engagement, which measures how involved and active customers are with your offerings. Are they using it regularly, interacting with new features? And customer loyalty is about repeat business, advocacy, and reducing churn. These are now directly tied to a product's success.
Exactly. And beyond those, we have customer value, what the customer perceives they're actually getting from the product, often compared to its cost or alternatives. It's their perception that counts. We also carefully consider the customer life cycle, tracking their journey from initial awareness through purchase, active use, and even becoming an advocate, or eventually disengaging. And finally, fostering a strong customer relationship becomes paramount, moving beyond transactional interactions to building lasting trust and rapport. This fundamentally changes how value is perceived and delivered. It's about building enduring relationships and ecosystems, not just making a single sale, which has massive implications for how project managers plan and execute.
Okay, the second major global shift mentioned is software-enhanced value. This is something we often take for granted because it's so pervasive, it's almost invisible now.
It's everywhere.
Think about it. 10 years ago, software mainly ran on dedicated computers or was embedded in things like industrial control systems. Now, even the most mundane appliances run sophisticated software. Your refrigerator, your washing machine, your doorbell, your car's navigation system, even your toothbrush, they're all software-driven.
Everything's got a chip in it.
Pretty much. It's the idea that everything has a smart brain.
And this pervasive nature of software adds incredible new capabilities to products, transforming them from static objects into dynamic, evolving services. It allows for the capture of vast amounts of usage data, which in turn informs further enhancements and personalized experiences. And critically, it requires ongoing upgrades, security patches, and maintenance. The product is no longer just the physical item, it's the physical item, plus its evolving software and the services it enables.
So the hardware is just part of the package.
Often, yes. This means the value continues to be enhanced, or needs to be, through regular software updates and iterations. A product is rarely a static entity. It's a living, breathing digital organism. This also creates new challenges for project managers in terms of continuous deployment, security, managing dependencies, and user adoption of new features. It's a whole new ballgame.
That's a key point, the ongoing need to upgrade. It means a product is rarely, if ever, truly finished. The value continues to be enhanced through these software updates, new features, bug fixes throughout its entire lifecycle. It transforms what was once a discrete project delivery into a continuous stream of value. And it forces product managers to think not just about the initial launch, but about maintaining relevance and functionality for years.
That long-term perspective again.
Yeah. Our third global trend is ongoing provision and payment. This is transforming economic models across many industries, shifting from single transaction services to continuous provision and payment
The
models.
subscription economy.
Exactly. Instead of buying something once, you're paying for ongoing access, updates, or subscription. It's a move towards subscribing, not just buying.
We see this in so many sectors, and the source material provides some fantastic examples. For instance, in publishing, think about the rise of self-publishing, direct distribution, electronic
Kindle
books.
Unlimited, things like that.
Exactly. They allow ongoing updates, continuous engagement with readers, and subscription models for access to vast libraries, effectively replacing the one-time purchase of a physical book. Authors can update content in real time. Readers have continuous access. It's a dynamic, evolving relationship with content. In finance, there's a clear move away from traditional local branches and large single loans toward things like microlending, with funding in smaller batches. This is often based on continuous evaluation of value delivered, rather than a single large upfront approval. Think of platforms offering flexible, smaller loans to entrepreneurs based on their ongoing business performance.
More adaptive.
Much more adaptive, responsive, and aligns capital deployment with real-time value creation. This approach significantly de-risks investment by tying funding directly to demonstrable progress. Then there are startups. With the increase in the gig economy and custom markets, we're seeing more startups and small businesses today than ever before. Work is more distributed and fragmented, often relying on ongoing service models and continuous engagement with customers or clients, rather than large, discrete projects. Many software-as-a-service SaaS companies operate entirely on this model.
That's their whole business model.
Right. Their product is a continuous service, and payment is recurring. This demands a product-centric mindset from day one. And in media, the shift is just, well, undeniable, isn't it? We've moved away from buying physical DVDs and CDs from centralized outlets.
My poor DVD collection.
Hey, tell me about it. Instead, the dominant model is streaming services, Netflix, Spotify, Disney, plus Suddenly, you name it. You pay a recurring fee for continuous access to a vast, constantly updated library, not individual ownership. This exemplifies the ongoing provision and payment model perfectly. It's a world where access trumps ownership and continuous value drives subscription.
So what does this all mean for project managers, all these shifts? Customer centricity, software enhancement, ongoing payment models? It means the world we operate in today demands a more fluid, continuous approach. Our project delivery practices need to adapt to these environments. The old ways of defining success and closing out projects might not serve the long-term value generation anymore.
That's the crux of it.
This brings us directly to Section X 4.3, Impact on Project Delivery Practices. As markets shift from a single project delivery model to an ongoing delivery model, organizations are actively searching for alternatives to those traditional temporary project structures. They need something more enduring, more flexible, and, well, more aligned with the continuous flow of value.
That's precisely right. They're looking for delivery constructs that have a strong customer focus, that recognize the rapid, continuous evolution of technology, and that align seamlessly with ongoing service and revenue streams generated by loyal customers. The old model of a temporary team delivering a discrete output simply doesn't fit these new realities very well. It can lead to inefficiencies, knowledge loss, and a disconnect from long-term strategic goals.
You're right.
This is where the product mindset truly shines, offering a more robust and sustainable way to operate.
And these market forces have indeed led to an increased interest in and a significant shift toward product management life cycles for value delivery. It's a direct, pragmatic response to market demands for agility, continuous improvement, and sustained customer relationships.
And importantly, project management isn't being replaced here.
Good point.
It's evolving to integrate product thinking. They work together. Product management inherently takes a longer life cycle view that encompasses ongoing support, sustainment, and continuous evolution, often with the same dedicated team, that stable team concept again.
Yeah, that seems key.
These stable teams are especially valuable in complex and unique domains, like systems with embedded software or highly customized enterprise solutions, where knowledge transfer is notoriously time-consuming and costly. Losing that tacit knowledge when a team disbands can be incredibly detrimental to a product's long-term viability. It can lead to technical debt, slower innovation, increased risk.
Right, you lose all that built-up expertise.
Exactly. A stable team acts as the product's institutional memory, accelerating problem-solving and fostering innovation.
So this shifting focus to product management is prompting even traditionally project-oriented organizations, think heavy manufacturing, construction, maybe even government sectors, to adapt their delivery models. They're seeing the long-term value in a continuous product approach rather than just a series of one-off projects.
It's moving beyond the tech bubble.
Absolutely. It's no longer just a trend for tech startups. It's becoming a strategic imperative for enduring success across many industries. So, given all these shifts and the clear benefits, how do organizations actually make this transition? That's what Section X4.4, Organizational Considerations for Product Management, addresses. The source material outlines 3 key strategies for organizations that are moving towards these long-running, product-based environments, providing a kind of roadmap for integration.
And you can see these visually represented in Figure X43, supporting strategies for continuous value delivery. The 3 pillars are fundamental. Establish stable teams, use incremental funding, and program management. And importantly, they don't just stand alone, they work in concert. They reinforce each other to create an environment conducive to continuous value delivery and product success. Neglecting any one of these can undermine the whole effort.
Okay, let's dive into the first strategy. Establish stable teams. The core idea here is incredibly powerful. Instead of disbanding a team once the initial development of a product is done, you use that same team to sustain and evolve the product. They work closely with a designated product owner or manager.
That continuity aspect.
Yeah, this continuity is absolutely key, almost revolutionary for traditionally project-centric organizations.
The advantages are numerous and significant. Firstly, it dramatically reduces the need for constant, costly knowledge transfer. Think about how much time is spent just onboarding new team members to a complex system.
Hours and hours, yeah.
This model minimizes the risk of future enhancements being delayed or failing due to a loss of that tacit knowledge, that unwritten experiential understanding of the product's quirks and intricacies. When the same people build it and then continue to nurture it, that vital knowledge stays intact. This can lead to faster problem solving and more efficient innovation cycles down the road. Furthermore, long-standing teams develop superior market awareness, deeper customer insights, and enhanced customer empathy compared to short-term teams. They live and breathe the product, They understand its users and the market landscape intimately.
They get closer to the customer.
Much closer. This directly contributes to maintaining customer focus, building customer loyalty, and ultimately creating a robust competitive advantage. They become genuine experts, anticipating needs rather than just reacting to them. There's also a critical quality aspect to stable teams. When people know they will be responsible for maintaining and enhancing a product long-term, they are inherently less likely to take shortcuts just to get something ready for a quick release.
That makes sense. The I'll have to fix this later mentality.
Exactly. There's a personal accountability that fosters a higher standard of craftsmanship. This leads to better quality, improved maintainability, and greater extensibility in the long run. And these factors, in turn, directly contribute to creating and sustaining superior value delivery over time, moving from good enough to great and enduring.
That makes perfect sense. It fosters true ownership. And what about situations where external partners or contractors are involved in the initial build? How does the stable team idea apply them?
That's a really important consideration. Part of the transition planning, even if development is outsourced, should explicitly include discussions on building an internal team within the receiving organization. This internal team needs to be capable of supporting and evolving the product over its life cycle. You don't want to be left without that internal knowledge base, becoming overly reliant on external vendors for every minor change or fix down the line.
So it's about strategic knowledge transfer.
Absolutely. Building internal capability alongside or ready for the handover.
Okay. Moving on to the second strategy. Use incremental guidance and funding. This sounds like a big departure from traditional annual capital budgeting, where you might get a massive fixed budget for a year or even several years. Instead, organizations consider more frequent reviews, perhaps quarterly or even more often, and provide funding for just the next quarter's work. You called it a venture capital model earlier.
Yeah, that venture capital analogy is quite helpful, and it beautifully illustrates this shift in mindset. With these more frequent evaluations and funding cycles, the business maintains much closer control over overall progress, strategic direction, and critical decision-making. Instead of committing to a large, long-term project that might veer off course or become irrelevant, you're making smaller, more frequent bets based on demonstrated value.
More agility in funding.
Precisely. Regular reviews of delivered value allow direct funding toward products that are performing well, meeting their value targets, and showing strong potential. Conversely, it allows for reducing or even completely cutting investment in underperforming initiatives much more quickly before too much capital is sunk into them. You fail faster or pivot faster.
I can see how that would provide immense flexibility. This incremental funding model enables organizations to pursue new market opportunities and capitalize on successful endeavors quickly, responding to market changes with agility and precision. At the same time, it smartly limits exposure to the inevitable percentage of new initiatives that, despite best efforts, ultimately fail.
Which happens, right? Not every idea works out.
No, so it's a sophisticated risk mitigation strategy wrapped in a flexible funding model, optimizing resource allocation dynamically.
It changes the entire dialogue around project proposals from how much do you need for the whole thing to what value can you deliver to the next increment and what will that cost?
Yep.
It forces a focus on near-term value.
Okay, our third strategy for continuous value delivery is utilize program management structures. This is about adapting existing program management constructs for managing long-running initiatives, especially for practitioners working with those stable teams supporting customer-centric products. So you don't always need to invent a whole new structure from scratch. Sometimes existing frameworks can be repurposed with a product lens.
And this is where the PMP curriculum really shows its depth and interconnectedness. Programs, by their very nature, align well with adjusting to market changes and delivering benefits over an extended period.
They're built for the long haul.
Exactly. This makes them a much closer fit for ongoing product evolution than the single project focus. The standard for program management explicitly addresses things like ongoing priority changes, managing interdependencies between components, and the realization of aggregate benefits through multiple components, which is a perfect match for product thinking, right? It allows for a coordinated approach to a sustained strategic objective.
It's interesting to note, as the guide points out, that many traditional industries like infrastructure development, aerospace, automotive manufacturing already use program management guides and frameworks extensively.
They've been doing it for years.
Yeah. These industries utilize programs for directional alignment and integrating countless component activities, such as subprograms and various project activities, all working towards a larger long-term objective. Think of building a new generation of aircraft. It's not one project, but a massive program with many interdependent projects and ongoing product development components.
Exactly right. Let's consider a practical example. An organization with a core technology platform. They can use a combination of program and product management to prioritize and oversee capabilities that will maximize the platform's return on investment over its entire lifetime. You might have a stable, continuous product development team dedicated to working on customer-focused, value-adding features, iterating constantly. That's the product team. Then, separate, finite project teams could deliver specific, large-scale equipment upgrades or maybe develop interfaces with new or enhanced external systems. Those are projects feeding the platform. And finally, operational teams are continuously troubleshooting user interface issues and helping customers adapt to new features, providing that ongoing support.
So it's a coordinated ecosystem.
It's a beautifully coordinated effort where projects serve the larger product and program strategy.
So this means that for organizations with existing program structures, shifting to product management doesn't necessarily mean a complete overhaul. It's about reorienting within a familiar framework, leveraging structures that already exist to achieve continuous value delivery.
It's about seeing the program as the umbrella under which multiple product streams and enabling projects can thrive. Evolution, not revolution, perhaps.
Okay, now to tie all these threads together, let's look at Table X42. This provides a detailed comparison of the unique characteristics of projects, programs, and products. This really brings out the nuances and helps solidify our understanding of how these different constructs operate and, crucially, how they relate to each other. Let's dive into how they differ across key characteristics. Maybe start with duration.
Okay, duration. Projects are typically short-term, temporary. They have a defined start and end point, a finite lifespan. That's core to the definition of a project.
Right.
Programs are longer term, often encompassing multiple interrelated projects that span several years to achieve a strategic benefit.
And products.
Products are explicitly long-term, designed to endure for years, sometimes even decades, continuously evolving throughout their life cycle until retirement.
Okay, what about scope? How does that differ?
Scope also varies significantly. A project has defined objectives, and its scope is progressively elaborated throughout its life cycle, becoming clearer as the project proceeds.
You discover more as you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A program, on the other hand, aims to produce aggregate benefits delivered through multiple coordinated components. Its scope is broader, focusing on the overall strategic outcome rather than individual deliverables. A product scope is fundamentally customer-focused and benefits-driven. It continuously adapts to optimize those benefits in response to market changes and user feedback. It's about fulfilling a persistent market need, so the scope itself evolves.
That adaptability seems crucial for products. How about change? How is change handled differently?
Good question. Project teams generally expect changes and implement formal processes to address them as needed within the project's boundaries. That change control boards, impact analysis.
Managing change.
Right. Program teams explore changes and adapt to optimize the delivery of benefits across their components, understanding that the strategic context itself might shift over the program's longer duration. Product teams, however, well, they almost embrace change as a constant. They actively explore changes to optimize the continuous delivery of benefits over the product's lifespan. The acceptance and proactive integration of change are fundamental to product success. It's not seen as a deviation, it's really the modus operandi.
That's a big difference in mindset. So how is success measured for each?
Success metrics also reflect these differences. For projects, success is often measured by product and project quality, adherence to timelines and budget, customer satisfaction with the specific deliverables, and the achievement of intended project outcomes.
The traditional measures.
Pretty much. Programs measure success by the realization of intended benefits across the entire portfolio of initiative and the overall efficiency and effectiveness of delivering those strategic benefits. Product success, however, is measured by its ability to deliver intended benefits on an ongoing basis. Its sustained market relevance, user adoption, profitability, and crucially, the product's continued viability for funding. It's about perpetual value generation and continued investment justification.
Okay, and finally, let's compare funding. How does that work?
Funding follows the patterns we've discussed. For a project, funding is largely determined upfront based on ROI projections and initial estimates, then gets updated based on actual performance and any formal change requests.
Mostly fixed, with adjustments.
Right. Programs typically receive funding both upfront for initial components and then ongoing funding, which is updated periodically with results showing how benefits are being delivered over time, often tied to strategic reviews. Product teams, reflecting the continuous nature, engage in continuous development, often via funding blocks, tranches, or stages, with regular, iterative reviews of value delivery. This often involves smaller, more frequent allocations tied directly to demonstrable progress and market impact.
Like that VC model again.
Exactly like that. This distinction really highlights how product thinking embraces uncertainty and adaptation up front, seeing it as an inherent part of the journey from the very beginning. This is a major divergence from traditional project planning, which often aims to minimize uncertainty from the outset and lock down scope as much as possible. Product management integrates that adaptive mindset from day one, allowing for greater agility and responsiveness to a dynamic marketplace.
It's a fundamental shift from prediction to adaptation, isn't it?
Beautifully put, yes.
Okay, let's take a moment here, maybe zoom out a bit and distill what we've learned. Let's recap the critical takeaways from this deep dive into product management from Appendix X4. Because this isn't just theory, it's about making you, our listener, a more effective and impactful professional.
Right. I think the essence of this shift is a profound move toward focusing on continuous customer value. That focus is accompanied by the need for extended support, diligent sustainment, and understanding a much longer time frame for realizing that value. And all of this is fundamentally driven by customer-centric approaches that continuously adapt and evolve to meet user needs, ensuring sustained relevance and impact in the market.
And it's important to recognize that while product life cycles might initially appear at odds with the temporary nature of traditional projects,
Which they can seem to be.
yeah, they actually align beautifully with the evolution of project thinking itself, which increasingly focuses on delivering customer value anyway. Projects become vital enablers within a larger product strategy, delivering specific components that contribute to the ongoing success of a product. So there's more synergy than initial conflict, really.
That's a great way to frame it. Projects serve the product, and organizations can effectively support and grow these new classes of products by implementing those three strategies we discussed. Establishing long-running stable teams, utilizing staged or incremental funding models, and intelligently leveraging existing program management constructs. Those three provide the necessary structure, flexibility, and sustained focus for continuous value delivery in a product-driven world.
Ultimately, understanding this isn't just for people with product manager in their title, is it?
Absolutely not.
It's for any project professional who wants to deliver lasting value, make a strategic impact, and remain relevant in today's dynamic product-centric market. It's about broadening your perspective on what success truly means in the long run, and recognizing that your project, however important, might be just one critical chapter in a much larger, ongoing product story. And there you have it, a pretty comprehensive deep dive into Appendix X4 on product. Hopefully, you've gained a clear understanding of how project management is evolving to meet the demands of a product-centric world, and perhaps how you can position yourself at the forefront of this change.
And maybe something to think about as we wrap up. Consider this. How can understanding a product's full life cycle transform not just how you manage an individual project, but how you perceive your entire role? Your role in delivering continuous, evolving value to customers. What new possibilities does this broader perspective open up for your next initiative? How might it change the questions you ask at the start or the strategies you pursue throughout?
That's a powerful thought to ponder as you look at your own work. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through the PMP study guide. We hope this deep dive has given you some valuable insights and maybe a few aha moments to carry forward into your professional life. Keep diving deep, keep learning, and remember that every piece of knowledge you gain helps you become a more effective and impactful professional. We look forward to exploring more essential PMP concepts with you in our next deep dive. Until then, happy learning.